It's another snow day in East Tennessee, so I think that I am going to try making some bath bombs today. So my main ingredients are going to be baking soda, cornstarch, and citric acid. I have a water spray bottle, and I bought this kit on Amazon that came with these big bomb molds and shrink wrap bags, and it also came with all of these different flowers, dried flowers that you can add, although I have my own for lavender that I've grown in my garden and dried, so I have plenty of that. And then at the end they have to dry for a little while, and so I just have some. This is like a plastic thing that came, I don't know, this is some kind of kit that I had to, I just saw it and thought, instead of throwing it away, I'll reuse it. And then this was like a food container, and I think it'll dry better if I put them on the underside between the little humps there. And then depending on how many I make and how much room I have here, I also have a egg carton that I can use for that as well. So this is my project for today, and we will see how this works out. Step 1 is to mix 1 cup of baking soda with 1/2 cup of cornstarch and 1 cup of citric acid. So those are my first 3 ingredients, dry ingredients, that I'm going to mix together in my bowl. So 1 cup of baking soda. Okay, I'm being very messy here. Maybe use a new box of baking soda so it's not quite so clumpy. There's my 1 cup of baking soda. Then I need 1/2 cup of cornstarch. If you've never done it before with your kids, you can take cornstarch and mix it with water, and it makes this substance that's really fun to play with. It hardens when you apply pressure. I can't remember what that's called. Something like thigmotrophic or something. But it's a lot of fun to play with. So there's my That's the first 2 ingredients. Now we're going to get our citric acid. This is used in canning, so I found it in the canning aisle. First time I looked for it was quite an adventure. All right, we need 1 cup of our citric acid. This is an interesting sort of granular consistency. It's almost like a really fine sugar. In with our other 2 ingredients, mix them together. And then we'll add our fragrances. Any solid things like the lavender blooms, we will wait and just put those in the actual forms when we press this all together to make the bomb, so that it's on the outside of one side. Should have gotten a bigger spoon, sorry it's taking so long. Everything else was really inexpensive, but this citric acid was not, so. There's a cup of that. Sort of powdery floating in the air. All right. Might want to wear a mask when you're doing this. You can see the dried powder floating in the air. I don't want to whisk it too fast because of that. So I'm going to mix this all together until thoroughly mixed. Baking soda and citric acid are what actually do the reaction, do the bubbling, fizzing. So we don't want to get it too wet or those two will actually react now and not wait until you drop it into your bath water. So we need to squirt a little bit of water in there. So you squirt with one hand, if you can get your squirt bottle to actually squirt, and you stir with the other. All right, I ditched the squirt bottle, got a different one. And so now I'm going to squirt and stir at the same time. Squirt with one hand, stir with the other. And you keep going. You keep going until you can squeeze it together. I should have measured how much I put in here, but I didn't, so. You want to add the water slowly anyway. You wouldn't want to just pour it in. Still pretty powdery here. I can feel it getting harder to stir. But it's not quite to the clumpy stage yet. Don't want to go too far. So we're gonna add a little bit more. Okay, it's definitely clumping in this, so maybe that's a good sign. I'm gonna divide it into 2 bowls because I want to try 2 different scents. About half. All right, so yeah, I can squeeze that. I'm gonna do our Ocean Breeze. Squirt some of that in there. just a little bit of citrus. Oh, that smells really good. So let's see if we can get it to hold its shape. So my understanding of this is that you take the metal forms and fill them, heaping like so, and then squash them together. Okay, I don't think that was heaping enough. Let me get a little bit more. Squash them together. Like so. And then tap them with a spoon to get them to release. I'm gonna let that dry. And there's my first bath ball I've ever made. My first bath fizzy. And it smells really good. Okay, so we're gonna make the rest of these, and then we'll make the lavender ones. Very soft. I think I might need, it's very crumbly. Yeah, let's get that other one back here. That one's a little better, but it's still pretty crumbly. All right, I'm gonna try adding just a little bit more water. You don't want it so hard that you drop it in and it just kind of sits there. You want it to actually react and come apart, but you don't want it to do it instantaneously. A little bit of fizzing around would be what you're going for. Try it again. Scoop. Oh, that feels more, that feels wetter. That feels better. All right, let's squish it. Well, it's holding to the form a lot more. before it just lifted right off. Oh, and look how much it's flattened while it's just sitting there in my hand. So I'm not sure. I'm still not sure I'm doing this right. All right, let's put it back in here. I might have it too wet now. Looks like marshmallow fluff. All right. Let's try this. Okay, maybe I need to hold it longer. Okay, that's 10 seconds. Wiggle it gently. I'm gonna end up with 2 halves. Come on. Yeah, that's not great. All right, I'm giving up on these forms for right now. I can try them again with the other one. I think I'm gonna just make them like cookies. So I'm just gonna take some and roll it into a ball, squeeze it, and make my own little bath bomb. Not perfect, but cute. Look what happened with the one I put over there. All right, squeeze, squeeze. Could roll this out and cut out like with cookie cutters. You could make like Christmas trees and stars and all kinds of stuff. Gotta say, this smells so good. It's like I'm getting my own little aromatherapy treatment here while I'm making these. And I have to take a nap after I do the lavender one. All right, so I made 12 little ones out of half of this batch. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this and then I'm gonna get to work on the lavender half. All right, so this half I'm gonna make lavender. So I'm gonna add some lavender scent to that. And I'm also gonna add my favorite, which is bergamot. Oh, I love that scent. Add a bit of that. Mix that up together. I'll let this sit a little bit, so it's kind of clumped. Just mix it with our hands. Yes. Smells good. Needs more of one of them. I think the lavender. Yeah, it smells great. Okay. So now I've decided that instead of trying to put them into some type of form, I'm going to just lay them onto my counter on wax paper so that it will, so they can dry around on all sides. So I'm just going to press these with my hands into balls again. Like so. These definitely look homemade. Oh, I forgot the lavender. I forgot the lavender bits. So what I'll do is I'll just put some out on this. Just put some out on this thing right here, and I'll just press these in to pick some up, like so. I'm gonna dry them with the lavender down to get it squished in there and dried in there. Like so. Now they got little cone heads. Okay, well. It's a process. It's my first time making these, so they are what they are. All right, I think I have enough to make 2 more. Once these are dry, I'll test them out. See if they work the way they're supposed to. This one's going to be a mini one. He can be my tester. All right, there's his lavender. And that's it until we're ready to test. I'm going to test the bath bombs today, see how they did. They dried overnight. And I did want to show you what happens when you put the little form, the little aluminum forms into the dishwasher. So it forms this aluminum oxide on there. I'm sure I can probably scrub that off with some baking soda, but I just wanted to show you what happened so you wouldn't make the same mistake I did. All right, so I'm gonna put some nice hot water, like for bath water, in my jar, and we're going to test one of these bath balls. Here we go. Okay, it floats, which I had not counted on. Oh, it's releasing that scent. It smells so good. And it fizzes. I was a little worried that I had packed them too tight, but they seem to be working just fine. I wish I could describe this scent to you. It's very citrusy and delicious. I would not mind having a bath in this and smelling like this for the rest of the day. And that's about it. So it took like a little under 1.5 minutes to completely dissolve. But again, my little bath fizzies are pretty small here. Compared to some commercial ones. So if the scent wasn't strong enough, you could put 2 or 3 or 4 in your bath. Hope you enjoyed my video. See you again soon.